You promise yourself, this time, it'll be different. You won't fall for the old patterns, the same arguments that feel like a tired, pre-written script, yet there you are again, standing in the emotional rubble of the same exact fight. And there they are, the same suffocating feelings, frustration, misunderstanding, and a deep, aching loneliness. The words may change, the person might even be new, but that hollow feeling in your chest, it's identical. You look at your partner, and a tidal wave of blame rises in you. Why do they always do this? Why can't they just get it? Why do I keep attracting people who are so unavailable, or controlling, or critical? The questions just echo in your mind, a painful loop with no exit. You've read the books, you've listened to the podcasts, you've tried to communicate better, be more patient, set boundaries. Still, the cycle continues, relentless and exhausting. You feel stuck, trapped in a kind of relational Groundhog Day, and you're starting to think that a truly peaceful connection is just a myth. But what if the key to breaking this agonizing loop isn't in front of you? What if the person you're blaming isn't the real architect of your suffering? What if they're just a messenger? What if the source of the problem, and therefore the solution, isn't in them, but deep within you? Perhaps you're smart, compassionate, and successful in your career. But your love life, it's a different story. Your latest relationship may be tearing along the same seams as all the ones before. Maybe your partner is distant, buried in their work, and seems to flinch whenever you seek reassurance or just a little closeness. For you, it feels like a personal rejection, a confirmation of your deepest fear, that you aren't worthy of consistent, unconditional love. Imagine a familiar evening where that tension finally boils over. You've had a tough day and just want to feel seen, to be held, but your partner is scrolling on their phone, a million miles away. "You're never here," you might say, your voice trembling with hurt. "It's like I'm completely alone, even when you're right next to me." They look up, their face a mask of defensiveness. "I'm right here. I just need a minute to decompress. Why does everything have to be a crisis? Why do you always need so much?" Those words, always a crisis, needs so much, hit you like a punch to the gut. It's the same thing you've heard before, just in different fonts, from different partners. They called you too sensitive, too demanding, too much. Every time, it reinforces the secret belief that you are the problem, that your needs are a burden. The fight escalates into that painful, familiar dance of accusation and withdrawal, and ends with you in tears, and your partner retreating into a stony silence that feels colder than any shout. Heartbroken, you feel that old despair creeping back in. You blame your partner for their coldness, but a more insidious voice whispers from inside, blaming you for being too much. You feel trapped, not just by this one fight, but by the whole pattern. It's a cage built from years of the same experience, and you have no idea where to even look for the door. When you are desperate for clarity, feeling out of options, you start searching for a different answer. You're tired of the same advice that doesn't seem to work. This is where an ancient perspective, like that found in Buddhism, can offer a profound shift. It doesn't offer a quick fix for your partner, but a path to liberate yourself. Imagine the wisdom of a monk, someone who has dedicated their life to understanding the nature of suffering. If you were to pour out your frustration, your hurt, and your confusion about this recurring relationship nightmare, they would not offer simple platitudes. Instead, they would listen with steady presence. When you'd finished, exhausted from the weight of it all, they might turn to you, their voice soft but clear, and say something that could shatter your entire reality. From this point of view, the partner you are with is not your problem. They are not the cause of your suffering. You think you're in a battle with them, but the only war you are fighting is with yourself. It might be helpful to think of your partner as a mirror, one that reflects everything hidden inside you. You might stare, confused. A mirror? What could that possibly mean? Your partner's distance is their action, their choice. How could that be a reflection of you? It might sound like just another way of saying it's all your fault, but this is not about blame. Blame is just a stone you carry. This is about wisdom. A mirror doesn't judge. It doesn't create the image it shows. It just reflects what's already there, with perfect honesty. Your frustration with your partner's distance isn't really about them. It's the reflection of your own deep-seated fear of abandonment. Their perceived criticism isn't their weapon. It's a reflection of the inner voice that already tells you you're unworthy, that your needs are a burden. You aren't angry at them for being distant. You're angry because their distance proves a painful story you've been telling yourself for a very long time. This can be a jolt, like a light flickering on in a dusty, forgotten room. The fear of abandonment, the feeling of being unworthy. These aren't just feelings your partner creates. They are ancient residents of your own heart, ghosts from your past. You may have spent your entire life trying to find a partner who would finally prove those feelings wrong. But what if, instead of running from them, you are supposed to turn and face them? What if your relationships aren't failing, but actually succeeding in their true purpose? To show you exactly where you are already hurting. We walk around thinking we are a solid, fixed self, and we look for another solid, fixed self to make us feel complete. This is the first illusion. A core Buddhist teaching is anicca, or impermanence. Everything changes, always. Our thoughts, our bodies, the seasons, and yes, our relationships. They aren't monuments to be preserved. They're living rivers, never the same from one moment to the next. You may have fallen in love with an idea of your partner, an image you built in your mind of who they were. You became attached to that image. So, when the real, ever-changing person acts in a way that doesn't match your fixed idea, you suffer. That suffering doesn't come from them, it comes from clinging to an illusion. We want permanence in a world defined by change. It's like trying to hold water in a clenched fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. This brings us to the root of so much of our pain. Buddhist teachings tell us that the root of suffering is attachment. In our culture, we confuse attachment with love, but from this perspective, they are nearly opposites. Attachment is that clenched fist. It's conditional. It says, I love you so that you'll make me happy. I need you to be a certain way to prove my worth. I need you to fill my emptiness. Attachment is rooted in fear. Fear of loss, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. It places the key to our own happiness in someone else's pocket, and when we do that, we give away all our power. True love, what we might call metta, or loving kindness, is the open hand. It's the unconditional wish for another to be happy, separate from our own needs. Love says, I want you to be happy. Attachment says, I want me to be the reason you're happy. See the difference? It's subtle but profound. Love is generous and freeing. Attachment is selfish and binding. Love empowers you because your well-being stays in your own hands. Attachment makes you fragile because your peace is constantly at the mercy of someone else's moods and actions. So when your partner pulls away, your attachment gets triggered. That fear that you're not enough, that they'll leave you, that's the voice of attachment. It panics. It demands reassurance. It tries to control them, to force them back into the box you built for them. But that just pushes them further away. In that moment, you aren't really seeing them, the complex human who has their own struggles. You're only seeing a threat to your security. This is why the relationship mirror is so precious. It shows us exactly where our attachments are. Every time you feel that intense trigger of anger, jealousy, or despair, it's a giant, blinking signpost. It's the mirror showing you a wound inside yourself that is begging for your attention. Your partner isn't the enemy. They're your greatest teacher, revealing the lessons your soul is ready to learn. Instead of trying to fix the reflection in the mirror, wisdom is turning inward to heal the person being reflected. This might bring up a new question. I think I get it, but what do I actually do? In that moment when the pain hits, how do I stop blaming them? How do I actually look inward? The path is simple, though not always easy. It's a practice. You can start with 3 steps. First, practice mindful awareness. When you feel that surge of anger or hurt, before you say a word, just pause. Take one single conscious breath. In that tiny gap between the trigger and your reaction, you find your freedom. Instead of being swept away by the emotion, you become the observer of it. Acknowledge the feeling without judging it. Say to yourself, "Ah, there is anger. There is the fear of being abandoned." You are not the anger. You are the awareness, noticing the anger. This simple act creates space. It stops the runaway train. Second, use a journal as your own personal mirror. After a fight, don't write about what they did wrong. Instead, ask yourself, what exact feeling did their action trigger in me? When have I felt this feeling before in my life, way before I ever met them? What story am I telling myself about what this means? For example, when they're distant, the story might be, "They don't love me, and I'll be alone forever." Is that story 100% true, or is it an old fear talking? When you question your stories, you start to see they aren't reality. They're just mental habits. Third, and this is the most important one, practice metta, or loving kindness meditation for yourself. This is the direct antidote to that inner voice of unworthiness. You can't get a love from others that you don't first give yourself. The practice is simple. Every day, just for 5 minutes, sit quietly, maybe place a hand on your heart. Then repeat these phrases toward yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. At first, it might feel weird or even fake. Your inner critic might argue back. That's okay. Just keep going, gently. You're planting seeds of compassion in the hardened soil of your own heart. Over time, as you build this acceptance for yourself, you'll find it just naturally starts extending to your partner. You'll see them not as the source of your pain or pleasure, but as another person, just like you, trying to find happiness. When you begin this practice, it can feel like a quiet revolution is starting inside you. The world looks the same, but your way of seeing it has completely changed. You don't have a magic spell to fix your partner, but you have something way more powerful, a path to heal yourself. Imagine, a few weeks from now, a familiar scene. You're excited to share news about your day, but your partner is wiped out from a long week, their replies short and distracted. That old, familiar sting of being dismissed starts to rise in your throat. Your heart begins to pound. The script for the old fight is already scrolling in your mind. But this time, something is different. You take a breath, a tiny pause. You become the observer. You notice the feeling, a pang of hurt, a flicker of anger. You recognize it as the "I'm not important" feeling. You can almost feel its roots reaching back into your past. Instead of lashing out, you just say, "You seem really tired tonight." Your partner might look up, surprised by your calm tone. "Yeah," they sigh, "I'm wiped, brutal week." You take another breath. You let go of the story that their exhaustion is a statement about your worth. It was just exhaustion. It isn't about you. Then, drawing on the small well of self-compassion you've been building, you do something radical. You give yourself the validation you were seeking from them. "My news is exciting," you think, "and I'm proud of myself." Then, from a place of genuine, non-attached care, you look at them. "Why don't you get some rest? We can talk about my day tomorrow when you have more energy." It's such a simple sentence, but for your relationship, it can be a seismic shift. No fight, no blame, no drama. Your partner might look at you, their expressions softening with relief and a little bit of awe. For the first time in a long time, they might really see you. Not your needs, not your demands, but your strength. And in that quiet moment of understanding, a new kind of intimacy, one built on respect and freedom instead of need, begins to grow. The journey of love isn't about finding a perfect person who will never hurt us. That person doesn't exist. The real journey is about having the courage to look into the mirror of our relationships and befriend the person we see there. The core Buddhist teachings point out that suffering arises from craving and attachment. This isn't a judgment against love, it's a deep insight into its nature. It's a call to love with wisdom, to move from the clinging fist of attachment to the open palm of compassion. Your partner is your most intimate spiritual teacher. Every conflict is an invitation to look inward. Every frustration is a pointer, guiding you back home to yourself. When you stop trying to change them and instead focus on healing your own inner world, something miraculous happens. The dynamic of the relationship itself begins to change. You're no longer two broken halves trying to make a whole, but two whole individuals choosing to walk together. You realize that true happiness isn't something another person gives you, it's a capacity you build within yourself. So the next time you're stuck in that painful loop, I invite you to pause, take a breath, and ask yourself not, what's wrong with them, but what is this moment showing me about me? Your path to a peaceful, authentic connection doesn't lie in fixing your partner. It lies in having the courage to truly love the person in the mirror. What is the karmic mirror in your life showing you right now? Share your reflections in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if this resonated, subscribe for more wisdom on the path of inner growth.